Welcome to the first installment of The Frequency with Grayson Kuchar, and with me today is Mr. Jonathan Fleig. Jonathan, how are you doing today?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me on the show, man.
So this is, real casual-like, just getting to know you,
Right.
getting to know a little bit about you musically, specifically. Okay. So that's where the fun part's going to come from today.
I'm with you. Yeah.
So starting out, we're both musicians.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the cool things that we're going for here is music talk. So if you're into the music talk, then this is your place. And so, Jonathan, how long have you been playing music for?
Ooh, well, I'm 45, so we'll just say basically 40 years or something. I started playing music because my dad was he was a pastor, and so we all went to church every Sunday, and you were going to find some way to contribute. So over time, I sang. I would sing like little special songs and stuff as a kid.
Yeah.
Trying to minister through music as it was, as we called it. And then as I got older, my brother he became very into like the guitar, and so he formed a band in high school. And so I was like 15 and. I begged him to be in the band, and him and his friend had started this band, and they're like, no, dude, you're a total dork, and like, we don't want you in the band. And over time, though, my brother says, well, we do need a bass player. Would you be willing to learn bass? And I'm like, yeah, I'll learn. So my oldest brother, the other brother, he gave me his credit card, and I went right down here to Sparks Music, and I bought a bass and an amp. And I was 14 years old, and we did our first show December 9th, 1995 at the high school. We rented the high school. It was a $200 fee, and for $200 you got the building for 4 hours. They gave you a janitor, and then my father, who was a police officer, he showed up in full Arc City PD uniform, and he was our security. And
you could rent the high school?
Yeah,
you just rent the high school.
Yeah, the auditorium. You still can, more than likely.
Wow.
Yeah, it was $200, and we got it for the evening, and I think we sold 200 plus tickets. I mean, it was a really fun time.
That's awesome.
We played 3 original songs, and the rest were covers. Like we did Under the Bridge. We closed with Metallica's One. I mean,
yeah.
So anyway, it was cool. So that's kind of how I got started in it, and I kind of knew like it would be a part of my life for the rest of my life. And then I picked up the guitar around the age of probably 20. My brother's band had more or less fizzled out, and you know how bands do. We were a high school band. We broke up, and then I moved out to California in dreams of being this superstar, I guess. I mean, however you want to say it. I had dreams of fame and making it, as they say. And I went out, like I said, I went out there, and I lived out there for about 5 years, and I just learned a ton of stuff about the industry. And what I learned is I really don't want to be a part of the industry. I really don't want to do this at all.
So was it kind of a, are you familiar with Buck Owens?
By name.
Is it like, he's got a song called Big in Vegas. It's kind of like
that,
like playing every bar ever just to try to make it.
Hey, I did. Yeah, that's what I did. I mean, there was one year I did 200 shows, 16 states. I mean, I went from Oregon to North Carolina basically, and I had shows lined up in like the Chicago area, but for whatever reason it fell through. But you realize pretty quick, like, man, this is like, it's not that it's hard, it's impossible.
Yeah.
And so I can't tell you the number of shows that I did with that. It was me and the other guys in the band, and we're just basically practicing in a room.
Yeah.
You may or may not have even gotten paid. The idea at the time, when I was coming up, was like, you just wanted to fill that calendar up.
Yeah.
And it was all about trying to do live shows, and you'd put a record together, and the next point would be you'd go out and perform as many times as you could and get people to maybe buy this record.
Yeah.
And that's kind of gone away in a lot of ways. COVID-19, that whole COVID thing, when it killed a lot of industry, it really stifled live music, obviously, establishments, bars. So my point being, I made it as far as I made it, and it's always been a part of my life, always be a part of my life, and I've recorded a lot of albums, and that's kind of what my focus is now. I record a lot of music. The last time I played live was literally October 19th of 2019, right before the
world
pandemic.
shut down, yeah.
I played at this place called the Lawrence Arts Center in Lawrence, and again, it was probably the best show I've ever done in my life. We just performed. I had just put out an album with the band called the Flint Hills, and we had an album called Driftwood, and we went out and just performed the album, and then we had the second set was just like fan favorites. I don't have a ton of fans, but I have very loyal fans, and so I consider my fans like diamonds. They're rare, but they're
there.
But they're there, and they're very valuable to me. And so there's some people that know the music, and so we played some songs like from back catalogs that we've been jamming out forever, and
that's awesome.
Did some. It was great. It was a great time, and music is just one of those things. Like it's always going to be the revitalization of my soul, and my music is how I have chosen to deal with life. Like I tend to have kind of a somber, more depressing, I suppose, outlook musically, because it is me working through a lot of pain and the anguish of being alive. And I tell people all the time, life is good and it's also bad. And you've never seen a wave that goes like this that doesn't do this. And so that's kind of what the music is about.
Yeah.
It's my outlet for that. And in the beginning, I don't know, I had these. I think also there were some religious overtones in a lot of my beginning stuff, and as I've grown up and kind of worked out my own ideas on all of those things, you can hear it in the music, and you can hear it in the message, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, I mean, I've got I think 9 albums with varying groups,
that's
different
pretty
bands.
considerable.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
And most of it I've done by myself. I've had a few people along the way. Like there was a studio in Wichita. It's no longer there. It was in a basement, but you wouldn't believe it. I mean, this guy his name was Paul Carter, and he'd put hundreds of thousands of dollars into his basement, and it was a fully functioning recording studio. There was a group by the name of Moreland Arbuckle. They made it as far as that goes. They used to record there, and so he was very prominent. He helped me a lot to get started, and then when his studio kind of, because live music went away, recording studios have gone away,
all shut down. I mean,
and so
the small business side of music is not really there.
No, and so when he shut down, I went very independent, and there was a guy out of California named Brian Harden that I used to work with, and he would more or less engineer all of it, mix and master it.
Yeah.
And looking over his shoulder, I'm like, oh, that's how you do a lot of this stuff. And so I learned how to engineer, and so now at home you can do pretty much anything you want. So that's kind of my focus now. I still write a ton of music, and I love writing lyrics.
Yeah.
So that's what I do now primarily. I would love to get back out and play a little bit, but playing live is kind of a disappointing thing for me, if I'm being straight and honest. It never meets the expectation that I have in my head. And it doesn't matter if there's a crowd or not. It never meets my I always feel like when I'm playing music live, like insecure, like I'm not doing a very good job.
So yeah, I think that's a very real thing with musicians. There's always this high, and it's once you get to what you think is there, and there's this the biggest show or the biggest stage or in opening for the biggest musician or something like that. Once you do it, everything else is below it.
Right.
So you could have the best show of your life, and that next show is going to be the worst show you've ever had.
Yeah.
And it's not that it is. It's a mental thing.
Right.
It's a complete mental thing.
Right.
That makes or breaks so many musicians.
I think that expectation is a killer anyway, but I think that so much of when I was a professional musician, so much of my value, like self-worth, was wrapped up into how many people cared about it, or how many people were listening to it or showed up, or I used to be on social media, and I'm not on any of that anymore, because so much of my life was wrapped up in like, oh, well, why has this number dropped, or why isn't it going up, or just worried about stuff, and putting a lot of, again, you're putting the value of my music, the value of myself in some sort of perceived reaction that I am or am not getting. And so as a teacher, like now that I'm a teacher, it translates very well, because you're a performer if you're a teacher. But what I'm saying about that is that I just teach whoever gets sent to me. I don't feel like my self-worth is attached to how many people are listening to me speak, or like how many people are in my class. But as a musician, it always felt like tied to that. And so it made it to where it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
And like you were saying earlier, I would take any gig because you needed a paycheck. And if you take any gig, you're going to end up playing a lot of lousy gigs. And so what else can you say about that? I mean, I've probably had more lousy gigs than I've had good gigs. I mean, I'll just be honest about it. I don't know. I would like to I miss that camaraderie of being in a band. But a lot of people would compare being in a band kind of like being married with no sex. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're trying to
it
like.
Sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It sucks.
And it's like I just more recently in my musicianship stepped away from doing solo stuff, because it was I have this expectation, especially doing solo is so difficult because it's all you. Right, everything, the booking, the marketing, everything. It's
everything.
all you.
Yeah.
And even when you're in a band, you usually get if you're halfway decent at it, you get stuck doing it all.
Well, and if it's your name.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the thing that I ran into a lot is, if you want to attract good players, most of them are going to also be singer-songwriters. Yeah. So they've got their own project, their own thing, and convincing people, hey, let's work my music up and let's work these tunes up. That can be difficult. I've had some very committed players in my life, but I've also had some that have been very difficult to work with because they've got their own idea on what they want to do, and you try to be straightforward with people and say, well, I really just want to work on like Jonathan Fleig music, and some people, they get on board with that, and some people are more like, some people will say they're on board with that, but they're really not on board with that. But I miss like being really solid with a group of people, and
it's a completely different thing.
It's wonderful.
It's awesome. It's probably the best thing about being a musician is the fact that when you meet other musicians that are competent,
right?
That the way it just gels. Like, there's nothing better than that.
Yeah, and what I guess for me, it's like it either gels or it just absolutely doesn't gel.
Yeah.
I'm currently playing for a little, it's more of a jazz combo type of situation, playing bass for this trumpet player who, and a guitar player's in the group. And I think the idea would be the trumpet player who's kind of the leader of it, I think he intends on adding more and more things to it.
Yeah.
Which is great, but that's my most recent getting together with people and getting good at an instrument again, because it's amazing how fast, if you put it down, you lose your chops, your skills.
It just goes away.
I mean, like nothing, and then to get it back is so hard. But that's kind of been my focus as of late is getting better at getting back on the bass and re-falling in love with that instrument and what it is. And I've fallen in love with jazz music, but I'm not, and I definitely enjoy listening to it. I'm not as good at playing it as other genres, but I've gotten really, really into Miles Davis.
Yeah.
And he, just listening to some of his records, it has exposed me to the sounds that make jazz, and so it's made it easier to get in on that.
Yeah.
But I'm not a theorist. I don't really understand theory very well. I flunked out of music theory. There's so much math involved in it, I guess.
It's all math. Every single ounce of it.
I'm here, and I remember in high school I played trumpet, and I was second chair, second part, and the conductor, he had put my brother, who was just head and shoulders better than me. He should have been first or second chair, but he always put my brother on first chair second part so that I could listen to him. And as he played, I was literate enough to look at the music and be like, okay, that's what he's playing. I can follow this, but I got to have someone I have to have someone competent playing it next to me. So that's how I would play those parts. But I'm an ear player, heart player, not very good at the whole music. Because people say, well, what do you teach, music? And I'm like, I don't teach music. Wouldn't even know how to start, so anyway.
Yeah, I know tons of players that they can't read a lick of music.
They can't talk it either.
Yeah, can't talk it, can't do it. They do, however, know Nashville numbers,
right,
and that's kind of like a it's a number system that is basically just.
I mean, if you tell me roots and fifths, I get this idea.
Yeah, that's it. That's all it is,
Yeah.
and then.
But then you start talking like my brother will get into the well, if you want to raise the fourth or diminish, I don't know.
If you want to do some crazy stuff, that even throws me.
Yeah,
and I like to think of myself pretty musically literate.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That stuff gets way out there. It gets
yeah.
so out there.
I'm just play, dude. I'll do my best, and I'll tell you, I don't claim to be the best at anything at all. I'm good at several different instruments, but I'm not the best at anything, and. I mean,
That's what's nice about the bass is you can, if they're like, yeah, go to the B flat diminished or B flat minor, and you just stay on B flat.
It's just B flat, buddy. Yeah.
I know the root. I can do it.
Yeah.
Dum, dum, dum.
I can definitely follow chord charts, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I know the notes on the neck, but I can't read very well. It'd be kind of like just putting a book in front of someone who's learning to read. You'd be like, it all stuttery and stuff, but
It's like I know what those are.
It takes me a lot longer to get through it than someone who's proficient, but yeah. But music, man, it's what's beautiful about it. It is a language, but it's like written language. You don't have to write it out. You could just speak it as well or whatever. So anyway, it's definitely though. It is a cornerstone of my life, and I've talked to people that you say like, well, what kind of music do you like? And they're like, I don't really listen to music. And that just baffles the mind. It baffles my mind. Music is a part of pretty much every moment of my day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when I go home, there's just always music playing, even if I'm not particularly listening to it. Part of that, I think, I tell people I play music loud at my house all the time so that we're being recorded constantly. It muffles out the conversation. Yeah, you don't really know what we're saying.
It's crazy just how many people actually don't care about music, or I think they're just calling it what do they call it, tone deaf, and it's more than just being. I can't understand the notes. They're just
I can't hear it.
Yeah, I can tell that a guitar is playing, but there's no difference between this guitar and any other guitar I've ever heard ever.
Right.
And that just blows my mind because when I listen to music, it's how many times can I listen to it and find something new about it?
Right.
And I hear everything individually the entire time. I'm listening for it. I'm analyzing it. I'm even analyzing because I got into some studio work, and of course doing radio. I'm always thinking about. How does it sound quality-wise? What have they done? So I'm always thinking about all these little pieces moving within this music.
Yeah.
And then some people cannot tell at all.
No.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, just differentiating between parts in a song means nothing to some people. That's it is mind-blowing, and I guess part of the reason is because there are things that aren't taught. You're just born with certain things. I mean, you can become good at an instrument, but, I guess I say I've never taught any kind of music. I did do like a guitar program when I was getting my bachelor's degree, and I gave a few lessons. And what I learned about it was I remember kids would say, you're teaching them a chord and you're teaching them a song, and they would say, well, how do you know when to go up with your hand and when to go down? And I'm like, you just know.
Yeah, that's one thing.
It's like I can't teach you that part.
You
either feel it or you don't feel it.
Exactly.
That's the rhythm part of it, and I don't know how. I'm not saying you can't teach people aspects of it, but there's certain parts of music that, especially when it approaching playing something, it's just in you or it's not in you.
Yeah.
And so I've had to tell people who are very passionate, I don't know you're ever really going to get the guitar, dude. I mean, I don't necessarily tell them that, but in my head, I'm like, It's like, dude, I don't think you're gonna get this.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have it, that's one of the hardest things. I've actually had people ask me about that too. Strumming pattern.
Oh yeah.
It's like, I don't know what to tell you. You just got to do it.
Yeah.
You just got to do it.
Yeah, you just have to know.
It's going to suck. When you start, it's going to suck.
Definitely.
You're going to play, just eighth notes or something like that. You're never going to feel the rhythm until you learn to feel the rhythm.
Right. Yeah, I also remember, like, I learned acoustic on kind of a cheaper model. And so my brother shows up one day with a Martin, and he like, hey, look at this new guitar I got. I'm like, cool. And I pick it up, and I remember I started playing it. I was like, dude, I actually sound like I know what I'm doing on this thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, the quality of instrument makes a big difference as well.
That's one of the biggest flops. I saw some people on the internet complaining about. They're like, "Oh my God, why do beginners have expert level guitars?" I'm seeing young guys with Gibsons ripping on electrics and stuff like that. Like they have a Les Paul Jr. as a child, and are ripping on this $1,500 minimum guitar, and people are complaining. I'm like, I started on a $100 Fender guitar kit that is now when I pick it up, it's a dobro.
Right.
It's a dobro. I'm pushing, a quarter of an inch just to get anything down to the fret.
The action on it is just like outrageous.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
And it's like, it wasn't good strings. It wasn't a good setup. I don't even think it was really, the intonation was lined up right, but I learned on it.
You learned how to do it. Yeah, I know what dude, that's exactly my experience. I think mine was a Fender as well. It was like, I had a Fender, and I also had my father had a Takanimi.
Yeah.
And he had gotten it in Okinawa because he was stationed there, and so it was an original real Takanimi from back in the day, and it was a classical guitar with nylon strings, and so that was much easier to play on. And I am a finger, like I play with my fingers. I don't play with a pick.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason I was a bass player, and then it translated to guitar, and I played on nylon strings, and then when I went to steel, it sounded like trash until I got a decent guitar, and then I ran right out and bought me a Martin as soon as my brother introduced me to that brand.
You have to.
They're the best. I mean, I'm a snob when it comes to that.
I got one sitting over there.
Yeah.
That's a Martin.
Nice.
And I also have a Taylor. And Taylors are fantastic guitars, too.
Taylors and Martins, I like them both. I like Martin better because I feel like Taylor lacks the low end that
very much.
Martins are known for. And I have a Jumbo 16, which they don't even make these anymore, but they weren't very popular. But I see people like John Frusciante and Eddie Vedder, like when they're doing acoustic work, that's the guitar that they play. Yeah. And it's not particularly an expensive guitar, but it has all of those Martins have a very specific sound. Same with Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
It's also, to me, sad how these brands have kind of, over time, their product is not as good as it used to be.
I will say, if I could get another Martin, I would. That's a cutaway, and I love it. It's a rare guitar for what it is, but it's not very old, and it has problems because it's not very old.
I got you.
It wasn't in the sweet spot. If I would have had something, I honestly, I think the Martins from the 70s
probably
are probably the best Martins. Everybody's always about pre-war or just post-war Martin. I've played them. They're awesome guitars. But if I can get something from the 60s and 70s, that is the guitar.
I have a Martin from 42, I think is what it is. It was my grandpa's guitar. And it won't stay in tune as well as even like what you're saying, the later model. So I guess for me, the sweet spot somewhere is like 80s and 90s guitars.
Okay,
And I have a friend who had the brand name, what is it? Can't think of it off the top of my head. They're so popular. Anyway, his mom found it at a garage sale. It'll come to me, but his mom found it at a garage sale. And the guy was selling it for like $100, and he didn't know what he had. And she didn't really know what it was either. She just bought it because like, oh, cool $100 guitar, and it ended up being like an amazing guitar. I can't think of the brand name, and that's pissing me off because it's well known. Anyway, his is from the '80s.
Okay.
And it just sounds like money, dude. And a lot of it has to do with just the wood that they used. And today, Martin, I've actually seen Formica Martins, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, I've seen some
lower
end Martins appealing to, I guess, a larger consumer base with the big older name, but at the same time.
Well, yeah, I mean, producing something that anybody can buy, but they just don't sound as good.
Oh yeah, and it's like you can go now and buy a, if you want a D18, you want a Dreadnought, you want like the original guitar, you're looking at, I think they're up to they're over $3,000 now.
Yeah.
Like that cutaway it was because it was a cutaway, so it was a little bit higher on the premium, right?
Right.
But like if you just wanted a D18, no electronics, no nothing, you're looking at about $3,000
Yes.
now. So they started making these lower end Martins, and they sound okay, but they're painted, they're sprayed, they're matte finished. They aren't really that great sounding. They play okay, but it's kind of like just a higher quality Fender. Honestly,
Yeah.
There's nothing overly special about them other than the headstock says Martin.
Yeah, and I remember E.M. Shorts. Does this store ring a bell to you? It's in Wichita. That's where I got mine. They were a dealer, a dealer of Martins, and yeah, I think $3,000 is about what you're going to pay for a decent, really well-made Martin guitar today. But yeah, you can get. I mean, I got mine for like, I think it was $900, so it wasn't terribly. And then I paid to have like a microphone put in, pickup put in it and all that. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a gearhead, and so I don't get all it. I've only ever really owned one guitar. The other one that I have, my grandpa gave me when my dad passed away, and now my grandpa's also passed since then. But and I do play on that guitar, but like I say, it's old. The machine heads are worn out. They won't. It's almost like you have to get it warmed up for it to stay in tune. I have this dream of recording a whole album just on this guitar.
Yeah.
I just have,
Be awesome.
it's like a million ideas. Yeah, I got a million ideas.
Tons of plans.
You only got time to do what you got time to do.
I would just set through a little presentation where these guys are talking about all these. You can have dreams all you want, but until you have execution, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and then you got to have a certain amount of time to execute whatever it is you're trying to do. So you got to choose wisely. And I'm finding the older I get, you're gonna have to let some ideas go. Probably, like you're not gonna get everything done, no matter what it is.
I mean, that's just it.
And I would hope to think that I'd leave this earth wishing I had accomplished even more. I hope I leave it like, the saying, leave them wanting more. I mean, I hope I leave wanting more.
Yeah.
I hope that's my ultimate outcome. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Like I say, man, I've got probably 30 songs right now that I don't have out, or I'm working on them, and I've got an album right now that I'm so jazzed about. Right now, I'm calling it. It's going to be a self-titled thing, more or less. I've never done a self-titled record, but I'm going to call it Jonathan David. Because I found one of the things I learned in the music business is I should have never used my last name, because nobody can spell it. Nobody can spell Jonathan, believe it or not. But if you're not a real popular artist, like, I'm on Spotify and iTunes and all those things, but if you don't type my name in perfectly, you're not going to find me. And so if I could go back in time, I think I would have probably played under the name Jonathan David or something like this.
Yeah. Have a pen name, stage name.
Yeah. But it's just my first and middle name, and that's very generic. But at the end of the day, it would have been easier to spell, and maybe I could have gotten more clicks or more play. This is the type of things you think about. And so anyway, I'm putting out this album, and I'm so stoked on it. I've got like maybe 3 or 4 songs. I still need to put some drums on them and things like that. But some of the best stuff I've ever written, I think, and so I'm excited about that. But yeah. I don't even really care anymore about what it does. I'm just happy that it's being made and being put out.
That's this summer is going to be my first summer in a while, kind of having a more open schedule. I had a regular work schedule, but it was pretty demanding. And now with my current gig that I'm really happy with, and I get this time now that I get to work on personal projects again.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to get my album going too.
Oh, cool.
And so that'll be, because I've released one, and it is terrible.
Oh, you think so?
I was like 14, and
I've listened to some of your stuff online. I haven't heard anything I thought was terrible by any stretch.
I was like 14, recording with I may have towards the end of it had I think the last couple songs I may have had that guitar, but I definitely had a GS Mini Taylor for the tail end of it. But the majority of this was recorded on pretty bad equipment and pretty bad instruments. And the DAW I was using was not Pro Tools like I use now. It was Audacity. I recorded this entire album in Audacity. Built it and edited it in Audacity. I didn't know what plugins were. I didn't know what effects were. And it's bad. it's like I look back on
Maybe we call it a demo. I don't know.
It was it could have been the introduction.
I have a couple of like burn discs still of that kind of like me and my brother just sitting around with like literally we recorded using cassette tapes where you would just you'd play a part and then you would record the other part while the parts like that kind of stuff
playing in the background. Multi-track.
Old version of multi-tracking. But 2007 is when I put the first album out, and I would consider it. I spent probably most of however long it's been out. I spent most of that time dogging it, saying it's trash, hating that album, and then as I've gotten older, I listen to and I'm like, no, I'm gonna cut this kid some slack.
Yeah.
He was better than I gave him credit for. I hate my vocals on the first album. I just despise them. I remember distinctly having a cold when we were in the studio, but at the time it's like, dude, I've paid for the service. I paid for the time.
You got to be there.
I just showed up and did it, but I remember being very disappointed with my vocals. But at the end of the day, man.
But how much did you learn from it?
Yeah, and I listen to it, and I'm not nearly as critical. I don't even hear myself anymore. And so I hear it now, and I can say, like, no, I like this guy. I mean, I genuinely just like the album, and it doesn't really have anything to do with me. And so it's great. But the older I get, the more and more, like, just this notion that I am Jonathan is not really even valid. I'm not Jonathan. I mean, I'm... Whatever I am is playing the part Jonathan. That's how I kind of see the world these days. So I don't really feel a lot of attachment to this part, this role, or the music necessarily, if that makes any sense. But I love making it.
Yeah, it's your outlet.
And I love listening to it, And I tell people all the time. I remember I had a friend come over and I'm an iTunes guy, and on iTunes it'll track how often you listen to stuff.
Yeah.
And this guy was just scrolling through my albums that I had on there, and he goes, dude, you've listened to yourself more than anybody else on this list. And I said, well, first of all, somebody's got to listen to it.
Exactly.
Second of all, I'm not ashamed to say that I've made some of my favorite music.
I mean, what else would it be?
Right. What would be the point of making it if it's not your favorite stuff?
Yeah.
So
that's one thing that you have to completely step away from as a musician is you're not making music. You shouldn't make music for anybody but yourself.
Right. Because
then it's inauthentic.
Right.
It's not real. What's the point of making it if it's just for the check or the audience and it's like if someone came up and said, "Hey, write me this song about this one thing and I'll give you $10 million." I'd write that song. I mean, who wouldn't write that song?
Yeah.
But
it's the Willie Nelson approach. Willie Nelson used to say, they'd say, "Oh, how do you write all these songs?" And he says, "Well, it's my job to be inspired, so I'm inspired every day at 8 o'clock in the morning." And he wrote thousands of songs.
Oh yeah.
And for other people, not even for himself.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a whole different approach to it than what we're talking about.
That's corporate music.
If I never make a living at music again, I'm satisfied. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I would love to have more people listen to and appreciate what it is that I do, but I don't need a paycheck for it. I don't need I don't need notoriety. It's more like, I feel like if it's done anything, I mean, I guess I do enjoy hearing when people say, "Hey man, I heard this song of yours," or, "I've listened to your music and it does this and that for me." That feels great. And I love that. And I do think that it's a means to an end or something worthy of, you say put it out for yourself, and I agree with you. But then there's other things that you get out of it sometimes, and I won't say that I don't enjoy hearing about times that people have been touched by it, but I am to the place where I'm just doing it for myself, man.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to reach myself.
I think one of the cool things about songwriting is if you can tell the story, if you can get, your message across in some regard, even if it's not exactly what you're going for, people relate to it.
Yeah.
They relate to what's real.
Yeah.
And when you have a real approach to music, people respect that. People want real. People want, themselves.
Yeah.
They want to hear themselves through, even if it's like, I did one time, I wrote the most specific song about a situation ever, expecting it not to mesh with anybody.
Right.
This was a Grayson song.
Yeah.
And I had people coming up to me going, "Man, I've never related to a song more."
Wow.
And I'm like, "You're joking."
Right.
They're like, "That's relatable." I'm like, "No, it's not. That's a Grayson song."
Right.
But to them, they took out experiences that they had, and it lined up.
Yeah.
And that's just because we're all different. We're all the same.
Yeah.
But
most definitely.
yeah.
I mean, if you're telling your story, you're really telling everybody's story.
Exactly.
Technically, if people want to look at it that way. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know that any song has ever surprised me like that, where it's like, oh, really? Like, you care about that particular track or something like this? But I have had a few moments of just, wow, man, I'm going to keep making music because of you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I've had a few moments like that, so I cherish them. I don't have to have them all the time, though. I used to think that I did, but lot changes when you get older. But
Comes in waves, comes and goes.
Most certainly, it's the frequency. Am I right?
The frequency.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. Ad break. No, no, not yet. Maybe.
I never made it too deep inside the industry, but I will tell you, like you brought up Las Vegas. I remember I played this place one time in Las Vegas. It was called Senior Frogs.
Senior Frogs.
It was actually quite prominent bar, and it was off the strip.
Yeah.
It was one of these local places. And I remember I had a drummer and a bass player that night, and we had been like, I think we had started in San Diego, and we'd done like Flagstaff, and then we ended up in, I don't remember the order of all these places, but we ended up in Las Vegas, and we were playing this show, and the owner of the bar, I mean, it was packed. It was just a great, fun night. And the owner of the bar, he's paying us at the end of the night. He's like, "Here's your cut," or whatever. He goes, and he's talking to me. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm going to tell you, bro, what you're doing wrong." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I was like, whatever. He's like, "When you're up on that stage, man, your job is to get everyone in that room enamored with you." He used a different word. He used a very profane expression. But you want everyone in that room to want to be with you, to want to just be enamored by you.
Yeah.
And just the way he was laying it on, I'm just like, bro, this isn't me. Mm-mm. And what you're describing sounds gross to me, and I don't really want to be a part of that. Or I was nominated once for a Los Angeles Music Award, and I'm thinking to myself, wow. And this guy calls me on the phone, and he's like, I can't remember his name now, but he was the president of the LA Music Awards, and he's like, "Hey, you've written this song, you got a song called Enemy, the band Soup. We would really like to nominate the song for Best Americana Song, and we'd like to nominate your band for Best Americana Band." And I'm like, let's do this. This sounds awesome. So I ended up getting 10 tickets to the Whiskey A Go-Go. And if you don't know the Whiskey A Go-Go, I mean, it's where the Doors played the End for the very first time, or Van Morrison, people like that got their start at this place, and it's still a prominent club on Sunset Strip. But anyway, you go in, and like, it's the stage that the Doors played on, and above the stage they have a bust of Jim, and like they have a bottle of Wild Turkey, and just it's a place where rock and roll history has been made. And I get there, and we get brought on stage, and again, there's this full house. It's awesome. There's some people playing, like some bands are playing, and I say to the guy, I'm like, "So how would I get an opportunity for our band to play like at one of these showcases?" And he's like, "Well, this is kind of what I was talking to you about on the phone, about sponsorship." And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, everyone that's on the stage, they have sponsors. And I'm not,
Really?
well, and I'm not putting it together, what he's saying. He basically has to dumb it down. And so I'll just do that, for this conversation. It's like, he just says, dude, they have people who have paid our organization money. And so now they get to play on stage. And basically what he said to me is, and if you play on stage, you're more likely to win the award. So I'm basically like, so you got to buy your way onto the stage, and that's how you actually win the award. Well, I come to find out that's how all these award shows are. All of them.
They're all bought.
And so, and that's fine. I don't even have a problem with it. But once you kind of peel that back, you realize, well, this doesn't have anything to do with talent. You don't even really like. And I'm not saying that the person who called me on the phone didn't like the song or something. I'm just saying it doesn't even really matter to you, man.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of experiences that I've had where I just don't want to be a part of that. And if that's what it takes to make it, then it's not really worth it anyway.
Yeah,
honestly.
And locally we don't have like humongous award shows like that or anything, but up in Kansas City area, I think it's in Bonner Springs, it's Country Stampede.
Okay.
It's a considerable music festival.
Mm-hmm.
Custom Entertainment did that, and we did a Battle of the Bands thing. And I think the bands that won, we had a good run. Don't get me wrong. We won regionals. We went to the finals. Did the finals up in Kansas City. Played it. It was great. It was fun. I met some incredible people. I met people there at that event that I am currently playing in a band with.
Yeah.
So that's
networking is always good. Yeah.
It was huge, and I'm thankful that I did it. But I will probably never do it again.
Right.
Because regardless of how well we did, which we probably energy-wise and composition and original music and us and got up there and killed it. But I think when it finally came to the judging, I think they really just went on Facebook and looked who had the most followers.
Very possible.
I don't mean that, but it's the people who won literally had the most followers.
You're not necessarily putting anyone down. You're just saying that it wasn't based necessarily on the music.
On the music, yeah.
It was based on something, a different criteria.
Exactly. They went, how many people, this group, they were great.
They got, whoever's backing has to know you have a track record for
pulling something.
Because
they're not going to, we could have came out of the gates with, 10 followers on our Facebook and been the best, musically, the best band ever.
Right.
And now I feel like this little group that I have, we've kind of gotten that reputation, being a small up and coming group, but having musicians that are some of the best in the Wichita market right now. But we went up, we hit it, we hit it hard, and I think they were just looking for who was going to sell the most tickets, which makes sense on a corporate standpoint. But it's really like, then why call it a battle of the bands or the greatest of if it's not going to be based on the music?
Or make it very clear that when you say battle of the bands, part of that means that you are grading me on my ability to market something as well.
Exactly.
This is the thing that your average frontman or the singer-songwriter guy who has these high hopes, it's like, bro, if you don't have anyone to put it out there for people to hear it, it's just,
Yeah, you have to have, it's all about business, and it's all about marketability. You got to have a product, and if you don't have that product, it's as good as having nothing.
Well, but you also have to have someone who can put that product in the hands of someone who can get a lot of people to hear it. Otherwise, it's just you. How many times can you share something on Facebook? It's like,
yeah, you gotta.
And I only know so many people. So, I mean, at some point, you have to have a machine behind you if you want it to be like the way you make a living.
Yes, and the social media aspect in music has utterly changed music entirely.
It's the same as streaming.
Yeah, and like it's ruined it for I think on a show side, it's ruined it on just comparing yourself to other musicians, because I think now we, instead of like, oh, this group's good and I'm good, it's this group's good, but they're getting 10 times the engagement we're getting, we must suck.
Right.
And I think that happens a lot.
It goes back to the self-worth thing.
Yeah.
You put all your value in this idea that, you have to have a ton of people listening to it or it's no good. And that's obviously not the case, but it's really hard as the person who puts the music out to convince yourself of that.
Yes.
And so, I mean, that's the double-edged sword, the nature of it all. There's a lot of disappointment in the music, quote-unquote, business but there's zero disappointment in music.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, one of the fun things about this group I'm in, we decided and we've talked it out, and I was actually just hired to play guitar, so I was the guitar player. But what happened was our front man, our lead singer, who he's good at what he does, but he wasn't like overly an enthusiastic front man, and plays with an iPad on stage, and I want a hyper-professional environment where we're not doing that. We should be able to get
You
up there.
mean like looking at lyrics?
Looking at the lyrics,
or
needs
chords,
the iPad, reading it, and it's like, come on,
I
dude.
get that.
And if you're in a bar, it's whatever. But we had this high-profile gig at a large venue. It was a big opportunity. We got cold called for it, and we're brand new. So this group, with this new arrangement of people, had been together for 2 weeks but when this show happened. So we had 2 weeks to get together and get tight. And what we did, because we didn't have a front man, we divided it. We all were the front man.
Nice.
And we played it, and everybody got to play the music they wanted to play. It's not because it was kind of like, we're called Back 40 Revival, but another appropriate way to describe us is the sidemen, because every single one of us forever has been a sideman. The guy we put in the middle is our bass player. He's a bass player, and he didn't ever really sing before. And then our steel guitar player and other electric guitar player, who's significantly better than me, of course, has always been a steel player. When you're a steel player, you don't get to sing. You're stuck playing steel the whole time.
It's hard, man.
It's hard. Yeah, you
like,
can't do it.
That's a lot of moving parts.
It's a lot. And so, but and then you have people always wanting to hire you, and you never get to do it. And then, of course, we have our drummer, and then me, who's been, both in front and a sideman as well. And so we all got together, and we're like, yeah, let's do this, and we'll all sing. We sing as we basically are like, I guess everybody gets to sing the same number of songs, and we just do it, and we just rotate on the stage just like that. It just goes. We're in our own spots, and we're all singing harmony, and we're all playing the solos, and we're doing the things like that. So it still sounds like a band. But now what we've done is we've made this marketable product where every song that we sing is tailored to us. It's us. Mm-hmm. It's not like, I think one failure with some cover bands, and it's not all of them. So I say this, it's not all of them. But because we're primarily a cover band, we have some originals we're working on. But, they want to sing the hits. They want to sing, everybody knows this song. We're in a honky tonk. We're going to sing every cliche song ever. And we purposely didn't do that. We sang the stuff that you used to hear on the radio, and you used to know, and it's the stuff that we love to play.
The
that we
deeper
never,
cuts, as they say.
We never get to play them, and we just went up and played them, and we were such an instant hit. Our followers doubled by 200%,
wow.
And we instantly had a callback from this venue, and it was like whoa, and it was just because I think it goes back to people want real. They don't want the manufactured. We were just musicians doing musician stuff, and that was, it's so warming and like to be like, oh, so people aren't opposed to us just being musicians, and that's so awesome.
Yeah,
and I think that's coming back.
Yeah, and I think the idea of cover music, it's another one of those ways you can take pressure off yourself as the artist, because again, I don't feel my self-worth tied into someone else's song the way I do because your own songs are like your children. And if if anyone who's ever written a song or who's passionate about songwriting, just the idea that someone would even suggest, well, you should change that lyric. You're it's go to hell, dude.
It's like a punch in the stomach. It's upsetting.
I had a friend who he helped produce some of my stuff, and it would be very hard for me when he would say, what if you did this instead? There was a time in my life when I couldn't even hear something like that. But to play someone else's songs, and to just express them however you want.
Exactly. We arrange them your way.
It's the pressure's off in that sense. So, yeah. And
they become yours to a degree too.
I do enjoy covers. I say I probably prefer original music.
I prefer original music.
But playing out live, people like to hear what they know.
That's one thing I was always told from the beginning. It's like, I actually had a sound man tell me, and it's a sound man I respect, and I was like, man, that sucks. But he was literally just praising me for One thing that everybody fails to do in music is you have your microphone here and you're way back here and they're having to crank you up and then
Right.
it's inconsistent feedback. And no, I'm, lips to it the whole time.
Oh,
And so
I kiss my mic usually.
Oh yeah, it's gross. It gets gross up there.
It can be. Yeah, it can definitely start to smell like me for sure.
But he was like, it's great you do originals, but people like what they know. And I'm like, cool. Thanks. Which it's true. It is true.
I've met a lot of sound guys, and that's I agree probably for the most part. It's sad sort of for the guy who's playing the songs because you'd like to think that you can turn people on to something new, but it's about repetition. I mean, that's one of the things that makes music what it is. I've always I've played a lot of gigs where a lot of times, to quote John Fogerty, if I had $1 for every time I played while people sat there drunk. I've played for a lot of drunks, and one of my favorite things about cover songs is you'll play some. I remember a specific memory. We played Pink Floyd's "Breathe," and my guitar player at the time, he's hitting those swells at the beginning. I mean, it sounds just like the record. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. And we get done, and this drunk girl comes up to us, and she's like, "Hey, do you guys know any Pink Floyd?" And we're just like.
I have. I have ran into that. I've pretty much stayed completely in country music, and when I open a show with a deep cut George Strait song, and someone comes up to the stage and says, "Hey, can you play some George Strait tonight?" I'm like, I'm not talking to you.
So you're old school country.
Oh yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah, I'm nothing new.
Yeah, I don't know a ton. I mean, country. I love country music, and I've gotten more and more and more into it. But I don't know a lot of it.
Yeah.
I don't know it.
Sure.
I wasn't raised in that, but the more I've exposed, like one guy that I just love as of late is Hank Jr., which I was never a fan. And my brother actually turned me on to the song Family Traditions.
Yeah.
And
Family Traditions.
I'm like, wow. And so I started just listening, and then I started getting into he did Silver Wings. What's the guy's?
Merle Haggard.
Merle Haggard. I started getting into him a little bit. I saw the song recently. I think I'll stay here and drink. And I'm like, that to me is like country music.
Yeah.
And it's great.
It's good. There's that in every. There's the things that everybody thinks about that. If you're a musician and you're into the deeper cut stuff, and you just go, I do not want to hear whatever they play on the radio.
Right.
And unfortunately, the good stuff is not what they play, and it's like I'm always even if it's not country music, I'm instantly turned on to what's not mainstream, I guess.
Yeah.
Something.
Well, I would like I mentioned Chili Peppers earlier, like Under the Bridge. You listen to a Chili Peppers album, and there's like a billion good songs, but you only know the radio only plays 2 or 3 of them, and that's obviously obnoxious, and it wears songs out. You don't really get that as much as it used to be. When I was growing up, you'd have like, if something was number 1,
It was across everything.
you despised it by the time it was all said and done. You didn't even want to listen to it ever again. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely a deeper cuts dude.
Well, while we're on the topic of deeper cuts, and for the topic of time,
Yeah.
You want to go play a little bit?
Yeah.
I think so.
We should definitely do
I think
that.
let's go jam.
All right.
So now we're here in Jonathan's natural habitat, playing some music. We just got done talking about some music. Jonathan, like I said, I'm very happy to be having this. So right now we're going to have Jonathan play some of his original music, and then I'm going to be more or less making it sound worse with a pedal steel.
Yeah, you're gonna sound great. Yeah, this song's called Fortress. These are oldies but goodies for me, but they're all new to everybody, so whatever. Yeah, we'll do it. Right? The song's called Fortress. Oh, let me unmute my guitar here. Okay. There we go. This song's called Fortress.
time. Wounded for the last time. Wounded for the last time. I'll never hurt again. Waiting for the sunrise, for the new day to begin. Killing off the soldiers so the war will finally end. Building up the fortress that no one can get in. Because I lost my place in you. I fought for something new. These times have been so hard. My heart has been so scarred. Wounded for the last time. Wounded for the last time. I'm a broken promise. I'm a wayward fallen son. If I'm being honest, I knew this day would come. I've seen other lifetimes, and they all play out the same. This will be the last time, no coming back again. Because I lost my place in you. I fought for something new. These words you'll never hear. I lost so many years. With you, I want for something new. When I have no more fear, I lost so many years. Wounded for the last time. I'll never.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
I have a mustache hair that's absolutely
That's awesome.
ruining me.
And that one's Fortress?
That's Fortress.
How long ago did you write that?
I wrote that in, let's see, would have been 2011, 2010.
Nice,
11,
man.
Yeah.
And that one's out.
It's actually, it's on an album called Strange Caravan, which was made at a very special time in my life. But before I made Strange Caravan, I made a small EP with a band called Soup, and it was the EP was called Downhill March, and we did a version of Fortress. It's a lot more aggressive, and there's no pedal steel on it. It's he's doing the bow on his Gibson.
Really?
It's an interesting take on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So
Awesome.
that song's called Fortress, and written at around the same time. We'll play a song called it's called Pipe Dreams.
All right.
Same basic idea here.
Yeah.
Chasing my tail, I'm smoking them roll your owns, and I'm feeling like hell. breaking my body one day at a time. I'm purging my soul from all of my crimes. I've never seen heaven, but I've been to hell. And I bought some stories that I could not resell. I paid a blind man to tell me what he'd seen, and he took my money, but it brought no relief. I am done blaming you, and I'm over being angry too. Sometimes things won't go my way. I'll move forward every day. No going backwards, the sides are no good. I refuse to do those things that I know I should. I lost my marble when I went out to sea. Now I'm not sure if I will ever be me. Following pipe dreams, following pipe dreams, following pipe dreams, following pipe dreams.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
And so that was written around the same time as that last one?
Yeah. I wrote a lot of these songs while, believe it or not, I was living in a tent. I was long story. In California, so I heard this joke once from this guy. He says, if you're homeless, like in Kansas, you're really homeless. But if you're homeless in California, you're just a beach bum. So I had a stint, and I wrote a lot of good music in that stint. Because I had a lot of time with myself, like just hanging out with dude, trying to figure dude out, and like, so it was good. But
Cool, man.
yeah, we'll play one more, and we'll give these nice people a break. You know?
Absolutely, yeah. The wonderful world of Jonathan Fleig.
This song is called "Be Myself Now." It was put out on a record called Uncle Jay's Motor Inn.
And where can anybody find all these?
I mean, however you digest music, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, I mean, whatever.
Excellent.
Deezer,
Deezer? People still using Deezer?
I don't know, man. I don't know what people are using. I have no idea. But anything they're using, you can get it.
Awesome. And
Here's the deal. You got to spell my name right. It's on YouTube. That's the only social media I do. It's on YouTube. But you got to spell my name just right or you won't find it. Jonathan Fleig. But yeah, if you look me up, you'll find me, and hopefully you'll find something for you, you know?
Yeah,
actually, if you find me, maybe you'll find you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this song's called Be Myself Now.
If you tell me where you come from, I can tell you where you've been. And if you tell me how you're feeling, I can tell you how this will end. I know you're broken and I know you're fragile, but you can't let this take you down again. Because I tell you I won't go there, but I tell you that as a friend, because I try so hard not to let you down. I try so hard not to make you frown, but the truth is I don't know how to be myself now. So I beat myself down. Well, things have happened and I can't change it, and I know I let you down again, but I owned it and I've bemoaned it, but I never found a solid end. And you were broken, yeah, you were fragile when you said you don't want me back again. But I tell you, I won't go there. You've had me down that road and back again. And so I tried so hard not to let you down. I tried so hard not to make you frown, but the truth is I don't know how to be myself now. So I beat myself down.
Oh yeah, that's so good. So good.
Awesome.
So good. Grayson Kuchar.
No, man, this is
The frequency.
the frequency.
This is what the frequency is right now.
Exactly.
It's good.
This is awesome.
Yeah, it's
well,
good.
Jonathan, tell everyone again, how can they get a hold of your music?
Well, jonathanfleig.com. So you go there, you can get to any other link, or you can go indarecords.com, INDA records.com. Very humble, minimal site. It'll just show you what music we've put out and what we care about around here. So live
Excellent.
from Winfield, Kansas, baby.
Awesome.
Winfield, USA, as I like to call it.
Yeah, man. That's like I said it on the radio the other day, the big metropolis of Winfield.
It's a great little place, though.
Yes, it is.
I like to affectionately call my home the Wu Wei Ranch. If you don't know what Wu Wei is, it means no force, so that's the way to approach your life: is Wu Wei, no force. Just let it be. So
Absolutely. Well,
thank you so much for this opportunity, man.
I'm gonna have you back at some point.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
we're gonna do it again.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much so much we can do.
Yeah, all the gabbing we did this evening, man. Yeah, so.
Yes. So I look forward to it, but that'll conclude this first edition of The Frequency. Jonathan, thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
All right, I'm Grayson Kuchar, and I will see you next time.